Hey everybody, welcome back to Backlog Banter. Today we're recording a very special video because today we're celebrating an almost incomprehensible milestone,
Mm-hmm.
100 subscribers.
Wow.
Back when we celebrated 100 views, there was no fucking way we're hitting 100 subscribers, but here we are with something actually important to celebrate. And the way we're going to
It's
celebrate,
true.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, forest spirits and nymphs of the woodland variety, we're going to talk about our top 50 games of all time. Now, if you
Yes.
can do a little math at home, I don't want to push you too hard, but there's two of us. We each have a list of 50 games that equals 100 games.
Wow.
One for each of our initial 100 subscribers. Now we're over 100 a little bit, and please,
108 at the moment. I just checked.
join. Add to that number. Fucking make it a little bit higher because the quicker we get to fucking 1,000 subscribers, the quicker you get our top 500 games of all time.
Holy shit. I'm ready. Oh
but the
my
point is,
God.
well, before that day comes, we're gonna sit here real casually. We both have our list pulled up on Letterboxd, and we're gonna go back and forth.
Backlogged?
Who gives a shit? It's the same thing. It's a ripoff of Letterboxd. That's
It
just a
is.
fact.
Yeah.
So we're both going to go back and forth reading our 50th, 49th, so on and so forth. And then here's the rub, ladies and gentlemen. We have eclectic taste in some respects. So we're not going to stop and really talk about the games until we get to our top 10 because we value your time. But more importantly, we value ours. I don't value your time a lot. If you've seen our content, that that's true.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is some games are going to be a little bit like, whoa, what the fuck? Why is that in your top 50? So maybe we'll stop and chat. But for the most part,
occasionally
we're gonna fucking rapid fire into the top 10, and then we'll take some time to really digest what are both of our top 10 games of all time.
Yeah, it's true. And my list, there will be a lot of pausing throughout my list because my list is so good and it makes perfect sense, and you'll never question anything that I say because I'm impeccable and infallible, and many other words that start with the I-N prefix. But I would like to talk about video games. Also, I would like to report that we currently have a total of 6,865 views.
That's a lot of fucking.
So
views.
we did not make a 6,000 view special, but we did. We certainly passed that milestone too.
And if you remove our Mario hoax video from that, we probably have maybe 500.
Yeah, there's 2,600 on that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are also numbers in amounts of
100.
things of games, video games.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna talk about them. Do you want to start, or do you want me?
I would love to start with just number. So, do we want to go back and forth? Okay. All right. 50. Skyrim.
Because here's the thing: we go back and forth like this. It gives us a moment to pause and question if we need to.
True. Good point. Good point. All right.
50. Downwell.
Did you hear what I said?
Skyrim. Yes.
Skyrim.
No question
there.
there.
Skyrim, and then Downwell. All right. Good. We're working out the kinks. Did I hit my mute button? No. Okay,
no, I can hear you.
We're working out the kinks as we go. This is backlog banter. We don't give a shit. All right. 49. Oh, do we do numbers? I don't know.
No, just keep.
I'll do the number and then you continue. Okay. So we only have
Wicked.
one number per number. 49. Abzu.
The Phantom Hourglass.
48. Portal.
Super Metroid.
47. Journey.
Super Monkey Ball 2.
I've never heard you talk about that one. 46. Dr. Mario.
A Link Between Worlds.
Ooh. Number 45. A Link Between Worlds. Oh my God. Link a card in the fucking corner, bro. Go watch that review. That's a great game. We both like that game a lot.
Great game. My next game is Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story.
Never played any of those games. 44. Uncharted 3.
Metroid Zero Mission. Not true.
That's the highest on my list. I've got a lot of Uncharted games on my top 100, but
ooh.
Where are we? 43. Nidhogg.
Donkey Kong Country.
Ooh. Maybe I'll do a preemptive card in the corner because we're going to talk about that game relatively soon.
True.
42. Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yoshi's Island.
I need to play that game. Number 41. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS.
That's a bold call, but I have to say it's a fucking great game. I played
that
so
is
much
a
of that
fantastic game.
Oh,
yeah, you have no idea. Smash 3DS it's probably one of the most important games to my gaming history.
I wouldn't say that for me. I'd probably give that to Brawl, but Smash 3DS fucks. I played a lot of that at school. My next game, Mario Tennis Aces.
Wait. Oh yeah. So for your 41 Mario Tennis
Yeah.
Aces. Okay, cool. And that's certainly one that warrants a slight bit of discussion
Should
because
I debate it? Should I tell you why?
well,
Would you like me
here's
to
the
name
thing.
it?
I can't debate it. I already
Sure.
think tennis is dumb and boring, and that the game's not going to be good because of that. I've dabbled in it in past lives, but I don't think it's a great game just by the merit that tennis is not.
Well, as a varsity tennis player, I have to say, if I could come and strangle you right now, I wouldn't because you're a treasured friend. But I'd think about it. I'd think about it. But as someone who loves tennis and loves Mario Tennis, I think Aces is such a fun refinement of that formula. I think it adds in such an interesting gameplay hook, and local multiplayer. Few games are more fun than Aces.
Interesting. You know, there's a game that's more fun than Aces.
Sure.
Entirely unrelated. This is the tangent or transition. Girl Home, number 40. The game that you are not convinced is real, but it's absolutely fucking fantastic. That game is great.
I don't want to shit on your fucking parade here, so I'm just gonna say my number 40, F-Zero X.
We've had Girl Home conversations tangentially many times in the past. You don't know anything about the game. I
No,
don't
I
think you have
certainly
anything
don't.
against it, but for some reason you like to think that you do.
That's exactly correct.
All right, so here's a weird one. Okay? Uh no, actually, okay, I'm gonna retroactively move this up. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm working on things. All right, we're going
This is
for number
strange.
39. Professor Layton and the Curious Village.
Halo Combat Evolved.
Interesting. I'm glad that's in your top. Like that definitely seems like a game that you connected a lot to.
Card in the corner.
Oh yeah, it's true. Every time we come up with a game that we've talked about, I'll put a card in the corner.
Wicked.
And maybe, who knows, if I put a lot of editing into this, I could put the logos like I did with our thing, but that'd be a lot
No,
of game logos.
no.
I don't know if that's a good idea for my
That's a
time.
terrible idea. Here's
Yeah.
what we will do, though. Just for your own personal edification, in the comments, we're going to have our full list. So we'll both write out our lists so you can check them there.
Okay.
Just because I think that'll make it easier for the audience to kind of follow along, too.
True. All right, where are we at? Number 38? Did you hit 38 or your 39 was Halo?
Of course.
Fantastic. Number 38, Firewatch.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Interesting. Number 37, Card in the Corner, A Short Hike.
Another indie game here, Ape Out.
Oh, that's not Ape Escape on the Loose, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Very close. Very close. Very similar game.
Very similar.
Yes. Number 36. This is one I don't know how much you've heard me talk about. I don't know what your experience is with it, but Plants vs. Zombies. What a fucking game.
See, that was big in the mobile scene before I really had any access to it.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't get a real tablet or anything till later, and I know it came out on DS, but I never played it on DS. I remember reading about Nintendo Power, but I've heard it's very, very good.
It's a fantastic game. I do think it's one that you would enjoy quite a bit. It's not very long. It's a jump in, jump out sort of deal. Did you say you're 38.6?
I have not yet said the word Sonic Mania.
Ooh, that's a good one. Wish I liked Sonic more than I do. Don't dislike it at all. It's a good game.
Fair.
But I wish I liked Sonic more than I do. Number 35, Monster Tale. Are you familiar with Monster Tale? Because that is probably easily the most obscure game on my list.
That's one that us Nintendo Power boys read a lot about because they really pushed that game hard. That's a kind of more obscure DS title.
Yeah.
I never played a ton of it because I never owned it, but I borrowed it from my aunt because she was big into it and I really enjoyed what I played. But I was also a little kid, so I didn't have the money for it. But
it's a great
very
game.
Cool game.
My introduction to the Metroidvania genre.
Okay. This is a game I was thinking about this morning. And wishing I brought to college with me, but it would have required a lot of setup. Disney Infinity 3.0.
I think that game is the reason we have the rule that we can stop and discuss.
Yes. Would you like me to talk to you about this fucking amazing game from?
I don't think I want to, but I think you should.
I think I should too, because I think I'm in danger of losing all my credibility with this one. But here's the fact of the matter.
What little you have left.
What little I have left, fair. Disney Infinity, specifically 3.0, is, I think, the finest Toys to Life game. Because what it does is it captures the spirit of playing with toys in a way that does not feel arbitrary. Skylanders to me felt arbitrary. Amiibo, while I have fucking 75 of them, are more of a collector's item than an NFC figure. For me, shout out to I wish I had that Chibi Robo figure. That one's sick. But
My
Disney Infinity
favorite amiibo.
3.0, its toy box mode really feels as though you are bringing your toys to life as the genre was supposed to be about. It felt like you could have these incredible adventures full of imagination that took you to your favorite lands, took you to these new places with these incredible figures. I think the sculpts of the figures are incredible. I think that the user-generated content really added so much to the experience. I think that as a Disney fan, getting to play people's maps of Disneyland and running around as Donald Duck and playing co-op with my sister, and then playing the more curated content actually made by Avalanche and made by the other teams that played a support role, I think coalesced in a Disney experience that for fans felt really elegant. It didn't feel just like a licensed cash in, and it did not feel just like an attempt to capitalize on Toys to Life. It really felt like a deliberate and imaginative product that got cannibalized by its own genre folding in on itself. I think if Disney Infinity was the only game in that ilk, it would still be talked about today and it would still be going because there's a wonderful foundation there for people that want imaginative and fun Disney gameplay with a lot of genuinely great user-created content in the context of a really elegantly assembled set of tools. I think it's a phenomenal video game that got a bad rap for being a Toys to Life game.
Interesting. Never heard anyone else say any of that. So,
Fair.
There's a first time for anything, for
Yes.
all sorts of things. All right. A lot of my list are going to, some of the ones higher up are going to require a little bit of explanation. But,
we'll see.
This one won't, because I don't know if you have anything to say about this game. Number 34, Flower.
I would love to play it because, as you'll see in a little bit, that game company has made a game I absolutely adore. I just haven't gotten around to Flower yet. But what I have gotten around to is Pokemon White.
Ooh, I'm going to flip my Uno card right back at you. Pokemon Platinum, number 33.
Ooh, at number 33.
Just similar games.
Yeah, a game you talked about already, Abzu.
Ooh, yes, great fucking game. Great game. I just have not revisited that game. I played it when it came out, so it's a game that I can't really justify putting any higher. Although, look, the soundtrack, Austin Wintory, that man gets me. All right, that visual style, that color palette, it gets me. Abzu's fantastic. I would love to do an Abzu discussion.
Fantastic.
Absolutely awesome.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. 32, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is a game I retroactively moved up because I realized it was only close to Smash 3DS because I had accidentally put them close to each other.
We'll get to that game in a fucking while, but I will talk to you about another Switch exclusive, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Oh, that's one that I would say possibly card in the corner for the Pokemon ranking. I don't know how many of that we're going to have. No, wait, let's save that for the top of the list because...
Yeah, I mean, I popped off on that game in our discussion, so you can go check that out if you want. I really do love that game. It really revitalized a lot of my enjoyment for the Pokemon series as it was waning a little bit. So,
yeah, Let's Go might require a little bit of explanation, but Portal 2 at number 31 certainly does not need any explanation.
You know what else doesn't need any explanation?
I don't believe you.
Kirby Superstar Ultra.
Yep, that's it. Well, actually, that is a game that people like. As someone who's not a big Kirby fan, they're basically all the same, but...
That's a terrible thing to say.
Unfortunately, it's true because you've played 17 of them?
I mean, a lot of them blend together. It'll be fair. There's a lot of homogeneity in that franchise, but Kirby Superstar Ultra is such a delightfully content-rich package, and the original is on SNES Online, and they're pretty equitable, so you should at least check out that one.
Number 30, Splatoon 2.
We'll get to that in a fucking long time.
No, we just did it right now. Too late.
Super Mario Maker 2.
Interesting. Glad you like that game a lot. I wish I liked that game more. I just don't have the mental capacity for that game. But I do have the mental capacity for the one right above Splatoon 2. Picross S4, baby. Let's get it. Let's go. Picross S4. Greatest number 29th best video game of all time.
I want you to talk about this one for a little bit, not because I think that Picross is bad. I don't understand it, frankly. But what connects you to this so much? Because fucking out of nowhere, you started texting me and talking to me about Picross all the goddamn time. And I'm just confused. I want to get it. I want to know.
Well, here's the thing. as someone who was originally on the outside of the Picross fandom, if you will, not too long ago, I was in your shoes before quarantine started. It's hard to understand. You literally just have to play it, and you know what? You will be very soon. But Picross S4 is not only a great Picross game, but I would say the best Picross game because of all the extra content that it has, the presentation, the little mechanics that it ends up adding and improving the formula. Picross is a lot like Tetris in that the games are obviously very similar, and it's really just about small tweaks between each game. But this is the newest one, and therefore the best one because it continues to improve.
Fair.
29 for you is
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
We have different opinions on that game.
We've got different opinions on it, and I understand its shortcomings, but I think that as a coalescence of so many disparate influences, it comes together in the context of an incredibly engaging Star Wars game. Yeah. I think it expands the lore in great ways. I think it just feels fun to play, and even though it's definitely rough around the edges, it really speaks to me, considering Star Wars is one of just my favorite things ever, and we're going to talk about a lot more Star Wars as we go along.
This is going to be that. Those are going to be ones that require a little bit of discussion. But number 28, We Love Katamari. That game. I love Katamari. And you know what? We love Katamari. Because that is just, though I will get to another Katamari sooner rather than later, I prefer Katamari Damacy, but We Love Katamari is almost an objectively better game. It's an absolutely fantastic game. Love that game.
You love Katamari. I love my number 28, Journey.
I love that game too, as it was now my number 47. But you love it slightly more than I do. But I also love Infamous. Oh, I love Infamous. That was one of the first games I wanted to platinum, but then I was a dumb kid. Not a dumb kid. I didn't play it that long ago. It was only like 4 years ago. But that game gets hard when you try to platinum it because it has some ridiculous trophies. But I'm close. I played a lot of that game. Got all the shards.
I really hope those first two come in some kind of updated collection to PS5 because I've only ever played Second Son. Well, I played First Light also, and I enjoyed them. But from everything I've heard, those first two games are far better.
Yeah.
So I'd like to check them out for sure.
I definitely need to play more of Infamous 2. I've started that game like 3 times, but I've never sat down and pushed myself to it.
My number 27 is one that I really implore you to check out, and you can play it on Game Pass. That is Obsidian's The Outer Worlds.
I really want to try that game. I'm excited to try that. Every time I think about Game Pass, I'm like, I need to play that game.
You'd love it.
I really think I would. But you know what else I love? Mm-hmm. We don't share the opinions on this. I think you got some respect for Stardew Valley, but I certainly have a larger connection to that game.
I respect it even if I have no love for it.
Yeah.
But I do have love for Fire Emblem Awakening.
Ooh, that kind of cracks my top 100 down at the bottom, but very good game. Like that game a lot. Number 25.
Hold on. Can I stop you for a second? Because I've got a lovely anecdote you're going to find very amusing about this game. It's very quick.
Okay.
So I bought it from GameStop down in Florida where my grandparents live. I was down visiting with them, and I was there with my aunt. We were buying some games. The last time I had been in there, I had to sign for a trade-in, but I was a little kid, so I didn't know if I had to sign my own name or the name of the person that bought the game for me initially. So the cashier thought I was fucking stupid because I didn't know if I was supposed to sign my name. So I come back in to buy Fire Emblem, and he's like, do you understand what Fire Emblem is? So he gets up from behind the counter and is like squares on the fucking floor of GameStop. He's like, so if I'm here, I take a turn and I move, and then you move. And as a dumb little kid, and it's like, yeah, fine, I get it. I didn't get it. I didn't know what Fire Emblem was. I like the cover art. But then I bought it to spite him, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm proud of you for proving that guy wrong.
Yeah. And now I know to sign my own name.
I'm very proud of you. I hate signing my own name. I hate signatures. My signature is terrible. I hate cursive. Fuck that. All right. Yeah. You know what? I fuck with, but I don't say fuck that. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Great game. Love
Very
that game.
Interesting. Another JRPG. Fire Emblem. That's not true. Hold on. I can't read. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That is a JRPG, though, so you weren't incorrect.
It is.
Yeah. Game I should play.
You should.
Yes. Game you should play that I don't think you've ever touched. Loco Roco.
Never played.
God, I
I
love
would
Loco
like to.
Roco. Look at this. Look at this smile. All right, I'm thinking of all those great songs in my head. I'm thinking of that slick art style. I'm thinking of all the cool gameplay mechanics, the memorable levels, the fun little bounty characters. Oh, Loco Roco. Ah, love that game.
I would like to check it out. I believe that the remakes remasters. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're very cheap
PS4.
on PS4.
Yeah,
So
they're remasters. Yeah.
I'll check those out, but not. I didn't play those, but I have played this game. Believe it or not, it's in my top 50. I played it, but it is another PS4 game. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah.
Love that game. Not enough for my top 50, but I still love that game. Number 23, Spider-Man, PS4. First game ever platinumed.
Look at that.
Fucking great
Look
game.
at that. Devil May Cry 5.
We're getting to the range of games where you never shut up about them, and I need to play them.
Yes.
And also, you know what? Same here, because we're about to get to one that I feel like I don't talk about, but maybe I need to talk about it more because I need more people to play this game. Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy. Sexy 3D platformer collectathon from the PS2. Oh, that game is absolutely fantastic. Great story, fantastic voice acting, wonderful movement and upgrades. Awesome game.
You kind of randomly started talking about it, and I didn't really get what the impetus for, because that game is not new, and it hasn't been re-released in a long time, but it is on PS4, and I do own it. So maybe I'll play it one day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But my next game I want to talk about is one we both love. And we used to have a review on the channel for, but it got corrupted. Grease.
We did a review. I don't even remember doing a review for that. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, we did.
That game is actually, all right, and I know I'm pushing the boundaries a little bit, but that's actually my number 51 game.
Interesting.
So very close, very close. It was almost on there, but then I was like, I never replayed it. I really love that game, clearly, but I do feel like Skyrim needs to edge it out a little bit. Where are we at? Oh, 21?
Yeah.
21 for me. Thomas Was Alone. Oh,
A game you made me buy recently, but I haven't started yet. But
I didn't make you do anything. I told you to, and
you held a
followed
gun to my head. I was crying, but I was also crying tears of joy when I played my number 21 that you hate and makes me angry. Nintendo Land. Your indifference angers me.
That's all I have to say about Nintendo Land. That's how it makes me feel.
Okay.
Number 20, The Last of Us. What a good game.
I've heard of it.
I played it.
Super Mario 3D World.
Ooh, I really need to beat that game at some point, but probably not until it comes out on Switch. Because I'm a lazy bitch.
We'll play it together because we got online co-op.
Oh, true. That's good content right there. Oh, we're on a cutout. Sorry, guys. Let's wait for round 2.
Wait for round 2. Hope you're entertaining the audience during this.
I will. I always do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna make fun of him. Well, this is gone. Isn't he? He's stupid and fun. Oh, what? I wasn't talking about you, huh? Okay. What's your number 20, Bucko?
I already shared it. It's Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, fuck. You're right. I'm on to number 19. Very recently we discussed the fact that I don't like Nintendo Land. You remember that? It wasn't that long ago.
Very recently.
That was very recently. But there's a game that I really like that you don't.
What?
Nintendo's 2017 fighting game release, ARMS for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay. You screamed. What the fuck did you
That's what they do. That's when you start the game. ARMS!
I didn't even know that.
That's what they fucking
know
says. Let's take up ARMS, baby. That game needs a fucking sequel.
About it for a second. You need to talk about it for a second because I've never met someone that evangelizes ARMS to the extent that you do.
Well, there are certainly people who like this game a lot more, but they're not people that you know as closely as me that talk about ARMS. Because I don't know anyone who talks about ARMS. It's kind of just me, gotta be honest. But ARMS made me like a fighting game in a way that I never liked a fighting game. It is one of, two Smash games and then this. Those are the only fighting games on my list. ARMS is a game that blew me away in terms of customization, in terms of a unique concept, because I don't like fighting games because they all feel the same. I don't love them. ARMS, obviously, very different, wonderful cast of characters,
Phenomenal.
pretty solid post-launch content. If it had been carried out a little longer, I believe it could have gotten a lot better. But 5 characters, the addition of new game modes, constant events that they had after the game, and the addition of the badges system and all of that. I've completed the game in terms of collecting all of the arms twice. I have put over 120 hours into the game. It's one of those games, one of the few games on here that is more round based and not something where you complete it. But I have essentially completed arms. I love that game.
That's awesome. I wish I liked it as much as you did. Love that you said it deserves a sequel. I agree, because I love the cast of characters. I think they were getting somewhere with that post-launch content, like you said. So if they really fleshed it out in a sequel that completed the thoughts I thought were begun in this game, I think I'd really vibe with it too.
Yeah.
But I also really vibe with this one, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Interesting. I played a lot of Lego Star Wars as a kid.
Yeah.
I got nothing against it. I like I like Star Wars. I like Legos, the physical ones. Not a huge fan of Lego games, although Lego Marvel Superheroes is pretty fucking great. Not on my top 100.
World.
Oh yeah, it's got a great theme.
This game I just have a lot of wonderful childhood memories with, playing with my mom, my dad, my friends. I mean, I just love Star Wars, so it was really a complete package for me. Almost like a saga, if you will.
Yeah, I will.
Now we're in the top 18. These are the top 3 rows on Backlogged.
Yes, true. Backlogged band. Oh my god.
Sponsorship.
I need to contact them and let them know, because that's too much of a connection there. All right. Number 18. We're in a little bit of a slur. That's simply
not the word you're using. Yeah, that's just
but a run of three games in a row that are some of my favorite Nintendo Switch games. Number 18, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Card in the corner if you want to know Abram's thoughts on that game.
Do you want to hear my number 18?
Mm-hmm. Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Yep, there we go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another game that I think probably is higher on your list, but is certainly on mine. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
We'll get to it.
Great game. God damn. Let's think about that game recently.
Let's pair that with another 2017 fucking Nintendo opus, Super Mario Odyssey.
We'll get to that. Great game.
Great game.
Number 16, a game that I don't even think you've played, but I think I've tried to tell you to play before because this changed my perspective on video games 100-fold. Fez.
Have not played it.
Fez is fantastic. What a great game. Oh my god.
Let's put that up against 2017's Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I was thinking about that game the other day because I was thinking about the fact that you like it and no one else does. And I was watching some videos about it. And one of them was Donkey's review of Super Battlefront 2. I mean, I don't know how much they changed in post-launch updates. I know you're going to say that they changed a ton and it made it an actually good game, but good lord. That game does not have a good vibe over it because of how crap the launch was.
The launch was a product of predatory marketing and self-righteous media that fucked it immediately.
Yeah.
It was fucked by a media and community that pretended to take a stand when they kind of didn't. And a EA corporate strategy that blew up the game initially. But they have come in what I think is perhaps the greatest redemption arc, surpassing No Man's Sky with this game.
Interesting.
From the fact that they did things like adding a more robust squad system, completely overhauling progression, doing all of these fundamental things to the game that were needed and should have been there. But then going above and beyond to offer 3 full years of free content where they added in new eras, new units, new modes, new maps, new everything. Currently, in its current position, this is, I think, perhaps the most magnificent Star Wars simulation there is. From a fidelity perspective, from a game feel perspective, it's incredible. When you play in those large-scale battles with the era-specific characters, which they thank the fucking Christ finally added, so you can't play as out-of-era heroes and villains, it all feels immersive in a way that I've wanted since I was a little itty-bitty baby boy loving Star Wars. it has flaws, but its flaws have either been subject to erasure because of patches or
Sure.
lie in the game's annals, not to be too crass,
Hmm.
such as its underwhelming campaign. But that multiplayer suite, combined with the Dice's attention to detail, I think coalesces in an incredible Star Wars experience that deserves far better than it got. And it
Yeah.
should be a wake-up call to EA, because the game's initial failure lies squarely on their shoulders.
Yeah. And that you brought up something interesting there that I think that is important to consider when talking about what your opinion on a game is or where a game should stand as one of the greats or a game that people love is that of course it's different in the moment, but a game should be judged on its patches as well. I do think that a game that is able to clear up release bugs and slow down and all sorts of weird issues that taking a second look at it in terms of how the developers continue to support it is very important. That's a game that I don't have any experience with, and I can't. I'm not going to comment on anything personally, and I'm sure I would enjoy it if I played it. But I think that people should give it a second look in terms of how much they changed it.
It opens up a larger conversation about how much wiggle room we should give a developer to say, "Oh, it's flawed now, but they'll patch it later." But
True.
I think once those promises are met and the game is patched and it is different, then we can have a second retroactive look back at the game.
Yeah.
I think you get into slippery territory when you're like, "Okay, the game is flawed, but they're going to fix it later."
Hmm.
Once those fixes have actually happened, and we can talk about it with the context that, yeah, it should have been there initially, but here we are now,
Yeah.
then I think it's really important to praise
Yeah.
those really incredible redemption arcs.
Hmm. Number 15. This is a game that I guess it's probably just not even in your top 50, but I know you like this game a lot. SteamWorld Dig 2. Great
Wonderful
game.
game.
Absolutely
It
wonderful game. Didn't
just
crack.
didn't crack the list.
Gotcha.
Wonderful game.
Reasonable. Reasonable.
Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Ooh, okay. All right, we're on an interesting parallel right here, all right? You've got Wolfenstein 2, a game that you've never shut up about and you always told me to play. Another game that I am making you play is my next one, and I think that it'd be fun to do, sort of a back and forth of a game I love, you love, I play, you play. God of War, a
Yes,
game that
sir.
did you start it?
When I bought it at launch and I played a couple hours of it, but it didn't
I mean,
come out.
started now.
No,
Okay,
it just didn't.
You're
But
going to.
yeah, for the audience, it just came out at the wrong time for me. I couldn't devote the attention to it. I just got swept up in stuff, sold it. But on the most recent sale after the announcement of Ragnarok, I bought it again, and as soon as I finish Super Mario Sunshine, I'm going to be hopping into God of War and
Sounds
really
good.
giving it the time it deserves.
Now here's a game I really like.
I didn't give him my 14.
Oh shit! Fuck. You're right. We were talking about God of War.
And how can we not shout out Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Easily.
No, it's unfortunate you say that.
No, I like Mario Kart. I got nothing against Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I don't understand the mass appeal of racing games. Not my jam.
I have 100 hours in it on Switch, and I got a fucking another 75 on the Wii U version. Love that game. Pieces.
Freaks me out a little bit. Kind of scares me. But a game that, as I said, I really love. We're into a range of games. I would say starting with God of War. This run of games is games that I was addicted to. From this to number one. These are games that I can guarantee are some of my favorites of all time because once I started them, I was up until the wee hours of the morn. Most of these I completed. Some of them I put over 100 hours into. But one of the more recent examples of that, Fire Emblem Three Houses, my first Fire Emblem game, and one that I could not put down until I finally beat it. One that I connected to way more than I probably should have.
You scared me with how much you played that game. Because
I
I got
a
it,
lot.
and I was really into it, and I was telling you, dude, you gotta check out Fire Emblem, you gotta check out Fire Emblem, and then you fucking played it for like 10 hours a day for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say much while I was playing that game, not gonna lie.
It's not in my top 50, but it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Mine is one that you haven't played, but you need to, and I keep telling you to. My favorite Rockstar game, L.A. Noire.
Yeah, Tanner keeps telling me to play that too. It's definitely one that I'm interested in, but it's not high priority for me personally.
Sure.
Here we are with another game that I was hopelessly addicted to, almost probably more so than any other game on this list. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I played that game too much. I played that game during class when I shouldn't have. I didn't pay attention to pre-calculus. I was just playing Xenoblade. I was
That's
up
fair.
very late. Who cares if it runs like piss on handheld? Who cares? I'm gonna grind that shit all day. Who cares if I should not put the 130 hours into it? I'm gonna do it anyway. I play that game too much. I love it. I'm very sad that the original Xenoblade Chronicles didn't connect with me. As it stands right now, that is my least favorite game I played this year.
That's
Um,
fascinating.
but Xenoblade Chronicles 2, very a flawed game, but one that I connect to a lot more than a lot of people.
Here's one that you're going to talk about a shit ton in a little while, but my number 12 is Minecraft.
Yeah. I want to hear, or should we save your thoughts on Minecraft till my area where I'm going to talk about Minecraft, or you want to talk about it now?
I mean, all I'll say is that there's a period of time when I would come home from school every day and play Minecraft. I'd play online with my cousin. I would play single player. I would go to sleep thinking about what I'd do in my Minecraft world the next day. I loved it. I mean, I fucking loved it. I was addicted to it. But as I've gotten older, that style of gameplay just doesn't appeal to me as much anymore. It's elevated on the literal hundreds, if not thousands, of hours I've put in as a younger man back in my middle school days. And I always respect it for what it did for the industry and what it did for me personally. And if I had made this list a couple of years ago, it would have been number one. But as of right now, it's more something I look back on and remember warmly, opposed to something that I'm still engaged by today.
Yeah. All right. Here's one that is probably coming up very soon for you. Pokemon X. What a damn game. Now, this is where I was waiting for to put the card in the corner for our Pokemon ranks, because this is also our number one overall favorite Pokemon game for the two of us on our Pokemon ranked list. I love
Not
Pokemon
even on
X.
my list. I'm kidding. We're gonna get to it in
Okay,
a little while.
that you threw me for a fucking loop there.
My number 11 is one that I wish was in my top 10 so I could talk about it in a robust manner, but I just got beaten out slightly. That is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, great game. We've been talking about doing something about that game.
It's not a great game. It is a fucking elegant example of forward-thinking and revolutionary game design. It is a testament to Nintendo's creativity and their mechanical polish and their outside-the-box thinking. It is a reinvention of the open-world formula. It's a reinvention of the Zelda formula. It is a bold step into next-gen design. It's a synthesis of Western and Eastern game development philosophy. It is an incredible fucking video game, and it is the crowning achievement from Nintendo in a long time, even though there are several games that I personally like more. Sorry, I talked about it anyway.
Yeah, here's the thing, and I was thinking about this as we were sort of getting into me talking about the games that I had got addicted to. Is who cares? All right, we're supposed to just talk about our top 10, but some of these games warranted a little more discussion. But I do think that we're going to put a little more focus on our top 10s.
Yes.
As we crack it, here we are, boys and girls.
Here we are.
I'm going to do it. Forest nymphs and hairy assholes. Who cares? All those people. All right? I'm talking about me, by the way. I'm the hairy asshole. Okay. Number 10. Our first number 10 of our top 10 of our two top 10s. The Stanley Parable. Now, this game, I would say it needs no introduction, but unfortunately, this game is not talked about as much as it should be. This is, if it weren't for how much I enjoyed every other game over it, this is the example of video games, why video games should exist, why interactivity in an art form is important. This tells an incredibly important narrative. It basically doesn't have gameplay, which is fine, but the amount of creativity, the amount of meta narrative, the quality of the writing and the voice acting, and how it makes a simple source engine game feel so alive and intricate in ways that almost any other game, no other game can, in my opinion. This game will be improved on when it is re-released. It should have come out last year. It should have come out this year, but I'll get it eventually. Standard Playable Ultra Deluxe will probably be, I will clearly replace this, but might even move the Stanley Parable up as one of my favorite games of all time because of how intricate this game is. I can't even imagine adding new endings, new content, interwoven with better graphics, and that's probably my most anticipated game coming out.
Cool.
Because the Stanley Parable is a short game that you can sink dozens of hours into. It's absolutely fantastic.
My number 10 is one that no one's going to fucking see coming. Tomodachi Life. Tomodachi Life.
I remember you adding that to your list and me thinking, oh, it's probably me, 40. I totally forgot about that because I never think about that game because I don't think almost anyone does.
I think you underestimate how much people fucking love this game, but a lot of people don't love it as much as I do. Tomodachi Life is, I think, if you fucking distill down Iwata's leadership during the Wii U and 3DS era into one video game, I think it's Tomodachi Life. It's a game that's whimsical and fun and weird, and it isn't afraid to just genuinely be itself. This is a game where there's dream sequences where your fucking me has the body of a bodybuilder and there's a donut tied to his back and he's chasing it. This game doesn't make sense. This is a weird video game. It's a life simulator. It's a Tamagotchi. It's an absolutely uncategorical categorizable. You can't put this game in a box, is what I'm trying to say. The gameplay is minimal, but its impact is extreme. Seeing your Miis in these ridiculous situations and having this game on your 3DS and being able to pop into it in the morning and feeding your Miis and doing the little tasks, seeing what they're fucking doing in their apartments, usually strange and horrifying things. It's like Nintendo after dark. It's the Nintendo creativity channeled in a way you don't expect, and it's a little bit off-putting. Mm-hmm. But it's off-putting in a way that speaks to me so acutely. This is not the type of game that makes any kind of sense financially to make. It's not a game that really, furthers a legacy or a lineage. It doesn't evolve mechanics. It just is itself. There's nothing like Tomodachi Life, except for the Japanese exclusive prequel to Tomodachi Life. That's the only thing like it.
Never heard of that.
And I just love it. And if we got Tomodachi Life 2 on Switch, I would fucking lose my mind. Will it ever happen? No. But it should.
I would be interested.
I will never, ever forget the 60 hours I put into this game.
I'm very glad you enjoyed that game. It's the game, as you said, no one really talks about anymore.
Yeah.
I'm looking up on Amazon right now how much a copy of it costs because look, I like weird games. I like ones that don't make any sense. Tomodachi Life. I suppose to fucking put Tomodachi.
It can't be too expensive.
Yeah, and I'm just hold on.
It was a selects game at one point. You might be able to get it.
It currently still is.
Yeah, you can probably get it for $20.
Well, the digital code is $20.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually think that is a game you would want to have digitally because you play it in 10, 15-minute bursts, sort of around the larger game you're playing. So if you have it digitally, you hop in around your cartridge title, if you will. That's how I played it.
Gotcha. All right. Super Mario Odyssey needs no introduction. That game it's fucking magical, bro. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know how that game is real. It has so much creativity into it. The capture mechanic and the ways that they take that mechanic and just spin it on its head 15 ways to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Who knows? I'm messing with phrases that I don't even understand. But that's because that game makes me feel something, man. I mean, Super Mario Odyssey is the only game that I've ever seriously tried to speedrun. Because I enjoy the movement mechanic so much, because I love the world design so much, because I love the format of the game so much, with being able to go to any star in any order, and the fact that you don't necessarily need to get certain stars to move on. You can play the game however damn well you please. And it's so creative in its implementation of different mechanics. There's so many stars, so many missions that you go on, that's the only time in the game they use that mechanic, because the game just has so many ideas and it pulls from everything in Mario's history and culminates it in an absolutely magical, supremely well crafted and infinitely replayable experience that is the reason I want a sequel to it, just because, goddamn, how can I not? But it's the perfect Mario game. to me, and I know we have a fundamental disagreement on that, but I said what I damn well said, and it's my favorite Switch game, which is almost weird to say for how much I love my Switch and how much I love Xenoblade and ARMS and Fire Emblem and Zelda and Animal Crossing. But Super Mario Odyssey is one of the best games ever made.
I mean, I have it on my list too. It's just a little bit lower. I think we differ in it in terms of its approach to game structure. I think that's where we have the biggest divergence of opinion. But I will never undercut how creative the game is and how good it feels to play. Probably my most anticipated game of all time. I'll never forget waking up at 4:30 in the morning to start my preload before school. I love it. I love it. Just not as much as you do. My number 9 is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD.
Interesting.
Makes
sense, but it's still interesting.
I think that this game is like a storybook come to life. I think it has a sense of whimsy and adventure that play off of each other in a wonderful fashion. I think Toon Link, Toon Zelda, Tetra, all of the characters, I think these are some of the best iterations of them across the whole franchise.
Yeah.
I think sailing the Great Sea fills me with a sense of adventure that I don't even feel in Breath of the Wild, partially because I connect more with the ocean, being from the coast myself. Its aesthetic, its gameplay mechanics, its sense of tone and adventure, everything about it, I love. I just love this game, and I really hope it does come to Switch so I can replay it instead of having to dig out the good old Wii U. But
I've been eyeing my Wii U. That's a game that I really want to play. I've played it. I played the first 3 hours of it, maybe. But as a new Zelda fan, I genuinely think that it might be one of my favorite Zeldas, just because I have not played a lot of that game, but I love the soundtrack. That soundtrack is so good. Every single song is so catchy and memorable and unique. And I want to play that game more than you ever know. So I need my copy on Wii U mailed to me as sooner than possible.
I really think it is the best Zelda game.
Yeah.
The spoilers for the next 8 on my list, which are not Zelda games, but I love The Wind Waker.
Yeah. Number 8. Now this is a game. Oh, okay. There's a lot of games that I don't shut up about. This might be the one I shut up about the least, or at least did, in the time that I talked about it. Control. Now this game should not be this high on this list. It's probably not as high on this list on anyone else's list. But this game means so much to me in terms of me being a guy who liked some, PlayStation shooter games, AAA stuff. I connected to a lot of them, but this one just pushed the boundaries of, it felt like they made a game for me. They took what I love about storytelling and creativity and put it into a game that, there you go. I really wish I owned that game physically. Oh my God. But regardless of the fact that I owned it digitally, I love that game so much. The world is so intricately designed. It has certain Metroidvania aspects of upgrading your powers. It takes the best of Men in Black storytelling, of the SCP world, of shooter games and superpowers and incredible lore and creativity, and it churns it together in this mesmerizing package with some of the best graphics and sound design and visual world design in terms of what the oldest house can do and where you're going and being trippy. And I gotta love that game so much. I'm getting, you know what, Goosebump. No, wait, they're there. The Goosebump check, it's there. That's how passionate I'm about Control.
You'll never see the discussion because it got fucked up, but I would think my energy would be better spent talking positively about a game I love instead of talking about Control, which is my number 8. A game.
Okay. I thought you were gonna spit on Control. Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
A game you talked about that I thought was surprisingly low. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Great game.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is, I think, it's a crash course in why Nintendo is just lovely, in my opinion. Masahiro Sakurai is an absolute god, and he has stuffed this game with more fan service than you could ever fucking imagine.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes fan service is used as like a stick to bludgeon games or
console fan service.
Sure. See, people always talk shit about that. But I think this is a fan service done really elegantly because it's in the context of a mechanically fucking incredible fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that this game feels to play. I think it feels the best of every other Smash Brothers game. It is my favorite Smash game, believe it or not.
Yeah, same here.
And I've put almost 150 hours into it, and I just plan to keep going because it is endlessly replayable. It's endlessly enjoyable. It is a game where I can turn on and be reminded of all of these characters and worlds and franchises I love while I'm playing a game that I love just as much. So that's my number 8.
I mean, look, I put Smash low because I like every game on my list that is above it more than it, but that doesn't mean I dislike Smash. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You know how much Smash Brothers mean to me. All the franchises that it introduced me to as a kid who just played Pokemon and then played Smash Brothers. I would just play Pokemon Trainer or Pikachu, and then I'd be like, oh, I wonder what a Metroid is. Who knows? I don't know. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is an absolutely fantastic game. It's a game that should not exist. That game should not exist. What the fuck? How is it real?
Okay, Tim Geddes. Let's just talk about your number 7.
This is my Gatorade get hype moment. All right, my number 7 is a game. Katamari Damacy.
Fair.
God damn. Look, not a lot of games I've played on my PS2. A couple of them on here, including this and Jack and Daxter, but this game is up with the Stanley Parable as a reason why video games are so unique and why, regardless of if you love movies or television or books or music more, video games have something special that warrants their own existence in the absolutely bonkersly unique, and there's nothing like it. Katamari is special in ways that words cannot describe. And Katamari Damacy is one of the games that really showed me that video games can be as unique as they can be. I love Katamari, man. I have replayed that game on PS2 and on my Switch too much. The levels and the music and the visual design and the dumb story and the fact that it just exists in its own bubble and it's not a shooter. It's not really a puzzle game. It's not open world because the worlds aren't big enough. You start off tiny, you get big. I love Katamari, and we're going to be talking about this game at some point in the relatively near future. But
Yeah.
Katamari Damacy is video games for video games' sake, and it's absolutely breathtakingly wonderful.
My number 7 is Splatoon 2.
Oh,
I love Splatoon.
I love Splatoon.
The first game I think means more to me as a moment in my life, but I think Splatoon 2 is just obviously the better game.
Yeah.
I just vibe with Splatoon's energy. I think it is so creative. I think that it's just so emblematic of why Nintendo needed that younger blood at the forefront of their games. The younger team just brings something so unique and kinetic to Nintendo's ethos. And I think Splatoon is such a valuable addition to that.
Yeah.
You take that wonderful world, then you add in, I think, such a subversive and interesting third-person shooter gameplay formula, and you get a world and experience that I just can't help but live in for hundreds of hours. I have almost 300 hours between the two games. And then you add in that fucking Octo expansion, bro, and you get some of the most fun and interesting mission design of the post-GameCube era in a 3D platformer context. It's incredible. I really think this game is incredible, and I cannot wait to see where the franchise moves in the future as it just continues to grow.
Yeah. I mean, that's a game, as I said, I really love. Fantastic game. I honestly wish I played it more when it came out. I didn't get it when it came out. I got about a year later, but I have put over 100 hours into it. Played the single player. Love the soundtrack. Great game.
And it's a game that I think is significantly better now than it was at launch.
Yeah.
Also, I think the post-launch support really took this game from being solid and a nice iteration upon the original to something that felt not only significantly better, but significantly more unique than the game that it spun out of, which is so hard to do. Which is a wonderful package.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, Ori and the Blind Forest. This game is so good, man. I mean, Gareth Coker is a god amongst men. Probably my favorite video game soundtrack of all time. I didn't get into this game when it came out. And that's going to be clear at my next game. There's a lot of games that I play randomly later than I should have that I just absolutely connect with. And this one reminded me of why I love video games in a way that not many games have. I was so addicted to this game that I probably beat it in under a day. And I probably played 14, 15 hours of it in under a day. I barely slept. I barely ate the day that I played this. Ori and the Blind Forest is one of the best visually looking games. It has one of the best soundtracks. It has some of the best movement. It has a really compelling story, incredible collectibles, fantastic upgrades. It's a tough game, and an emotional, and it really deserves all the accolades it's gotten. I
Can
love
I
it.
can I clarify? You're talking about the one that came out a couple years ago, right? Not
Ori and
this
the
year's.
Blind Forest.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
And I don't want to spoil anything to come.
Yeah.
My number 6 is a game that you've talked about, Pokemon Y. And I'm not going to get too verbose here because, like you said, we're going to have that card in the corner where we talk a lot more about Pokemon Y. But for me, this really is a time capsule of my life, really, really encompassing a transitional period in my life when I changed schools and felt a little bit isolated and made new friends through Pokemon and got really the jump start of me being interested in the game's media through Pokemon Y as I made my first, fucking fan account and I was covering Pokemon news and talking about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the fact that I just love this game, I completed the national dex. I think that Pokemon feels so alive. I think that Kalos is such a lovely world to explore. As someone who studies French, it is really interesting seeing elements of that culture integrated into the region. I love the Pokemon. I really just love everything about it. To me, it encapsulates the feeling of Pokemon being about going on your own adventure and making friends with these creatures. And it means a lot more to me in my life than I could really articulate in a way that expresses the game's merit, because I think it is a great game, but I think there are superior Pokemon games. But when you add my personal attachment into the mix, few games are more important to me than this.
Yeah. And clearly I said X, but that's all, same game, whatever. But
Nah,
I
play both, a lot of both.
yeah, no, same here. No, same here. Yeah. X and Y, Gen 6.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Top
Number 5. Top fucking 5. I have no idea how long this video is. I don't give a shit because
it's long.
I don't give a shit because this is our 100 sub special. We're talking about some great games, and I'm going to talk as much as I need to. Would you kindly talk to me about BioShock? BioShock is a series and a game that changed the video game landscape. It is one of the best shooters. It has almost undoubtedly one of the greatest atmospheres in video games. Rapture as a concept, as the way that they executed it in its visual design and audio design and character and history, is probably my favorite location in a video game ever. I've gone on the record saying that the Animal Crossing New Horizons Museum is up there, but Rapture as a whole is certainly better than that. I don't know what he's planning on doing. He's got a Marvel shirt on. Is he hot? Who knows? But BioShock is a game that makes me hot, hotter than him taking off his sweater. Is that BioShock has some of the best gunplay. It has absolutely fantastic powers in terms of the plasmids. Every moment of that game just imbues you with senses that you've never experienced in a video game before. I love BioShock 2 as well. It's also my top 100. BioShock Infinite is pretty disappointing to me. Not a huge fan of that game, but the idea that we've got another BioShock in development, just in terms of not even just Rapture, but the gameplay on top of such a fantastic locale and fantastic music and fantastic visuals. BioShock is
I would really like to get to BioShock. It's just eluded me, but I've just heard so much excellent praise for it, so I will play it for sure.
Yeah.
I'll talk about my number 5, which is a game you'll never play. Literally, you will never play it because there's no reason to anymore, and that's Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny to me it's really interesting because I enjoy a first-person shooter. I enjoy a multiplayer game, but it's not typically my bread and butter. So it's a testament to the package that Bungie created. The game is so high on the list. I think that it's melding of the first-person shooter genre within the framework of an MMO with the RPG trappings makes it a really compelling experience. The game is punchy mechanically. I think it has an incredible lore and world behind it. And I think that the loot grind is really compelling if that's what you're into. Destiny to me has a stickiness about it that few other games do. I put over 100 hours into it. I really was infatuated with it for basically a whole year, playing through all the major expansions up through Rise of Iron and really, really loving my time with it. Um, Destiny 2 felt a little too similar to me, but I think that's just because Destiny 1 looms so large in my gaming life for a long time. I think it was a moment that defined a lot of where the industry is now. I think that Destiny is a genuinely incredibly important game and a turning point. And I will forever and always consider it my favorite first-person shooter of all time. Loved it.
Yep. We've got another first-person shooter on this list. Coming up next at number 4. A game that I'm honestly pretty surprised didn't crack your top 50.
Whoops.
But a game that came out of nowhere for me and consumed my fucking life for years.
Oh, fuck. I forgot to put this on my list. I know exactly what you're talking about. This should have been on my list. Yes.
Overwatch is a special game. It's there's not a lot like it. People compare it to TF2, but I don't even think that's necessarily
That's not fair.
comparison. Because Overwatch is one of the most polished games that I've ever played in terms of all of its aspects working so well together to create a very repetitively engaging gameplay experience that has been expanded on so much over the years and remains just as fun and encapsulating and rapturing as it was when I played it so many hours when it came out. It has probably my favorite video game world of all time, the lore, and it's easily the best cast of characters that in video game history, in my opinion. I mean, just sincerely, like, I like creativity. I like being weird. I like futuristic stuff. I like characters that have incredible backstories and relationships to one another. I like when a game can give me a lore that I can connect to in all sorts of ways. And Overwatch takes that and just rubs it in your face. It is one of the best multiplayer games that I've ever played. I mean, working with a team, there's nothing like it in Overwatch. I mean, you've got 6 people, you've got to get to the point, and all the characters have their own uses and then their own stories, and Blizzard has done such a good job at expanding the game and rebalancing it and fixing it and creating just a world that I'd love to exist in, even if I'm just dicking around, because that's what you do most of the time in Overwatch. You're just dicking around, but when you take it seriously, it's fantastic. When you're just screwing around and, at launch playing a 6 Winston team, still just as fantastic. It's a game that I have gone back to more times in my life than almost any other game. It's the second game that I've played the second most in my entire life. I love that game so much. I was able to introduce my roommate to it not too long ago. He had a good time, even though he had no idea what's going on. It's a very complex game. It's a game that you definitely need to get into the flow of, but once you do, there's not really much like it.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been on my list. It's honestly only that it's not on here purely because it was an oversight on my behalf. I love it too. The only thing I'd add is that I think you're totally incorrect when you say that it is a complex game, and I think this is why it's special. I think it's the Super Smash Brothers of hero-based shooters. There is complexity to it, but I think it's in its accessibility and its colorfulness that it really succeeds. And that's a matter of perspective, because when you get into the higher end Overwatch play, there is a lot more complexity there, and the lore is fairly deep, but I think it succeeds a lot in the fact that it's scalable and fun at all levels in the way that a lot of Nintendo's games are.
Yeah.
So it's very compelling. I honestly forgot about it.
The one thing I would say about the complexity is not necessarily that it's super, super deep mechanically or that it's hard to play when you're new at it, but that there's just so much fucking going on. If you drop someone into Overwatch who doesn't know any of the characters, who's not used to working with a team in that way and doesn't understand, there's so many abilities and ways that abilities interact, and heroes and their classes and the maps to learn and different particle effects and debuffs and up buffs and all sorts of shit, that it is a very complex game in terms of how much shit is going on at once. But once you understand it, it's so elegant in its design that you can react to everything just by sound, just by visuals. It's fantastic.
My number 4 is a game that shares a title with another game on this list, and that's Star Wars Battlefront 2. But this one came out in 2005. Yep. Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 is a game that I would play every day when I came home from school for literally probably 4 years. Like I said, I adore Star Wars, and prior to the license being revitalized, prior to the entire franchise being revitalized, this is the game that I think encapsulated the scope of Star Wars. And this is one of the few games that I can close my eyes and I could navigate the menus of. I could walk around every single map of it. I know the loadouts of every fucking unit in that game. It's just so important to me. And it's still so fun today because Pandemic built a set of mechanics that are just so compelling and put it in the whole framework. It's derivative of Battlefield, yes, but the Star Wars flair on top of it and the strength of those core mechanics. And then you fucking throw the nostalgia in there. And God, I could play this game literally endlessly, and I have, and I'll continue to, and I will continue to love it as much as I do.
No connection to that game. Can't tell you anything about it. Shooty Star Wars. That's all I know. But all right, here we are. We're getting into the big boys. You know, we're our bronze list right here. Our fucking bronze slot. All right. This is a game that I almost want to change my. No, I'm not going to change the placement of.
Don't do it.
No. But because I know people will give me some shit for this because it's such a new game. It's a game that I played not at launch like I should have, but later. But it is probably the best video game experience I've had that does not crack the top two, which I think are almost untouchable. This game is flawless in everything that it does. It is the pinnacle of its genre by an absolutely ridiculous margin. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is fucking perfect. It takes everything that I loved about the first one and multiplies it by 3. It's everything I love about video games multiplied by 10. It has incredible characters. It has fantastic, impeccable visuals. The soundtrack is inspired by the first one, but takes its own spin. It's better world design than the first one. It has more interesting combat than the first one. It has side quests. It expands everything that you could want about a video game into one tightly crafted package where nothing feels wasted, where everything that you get, every character you meet, every upgrade that you can find, every piece of the menu design, and everything flows to a central point of you always feeling like you're small and fragile, but always in control. And there's not really much else like it. Of course, the first game is like it, but this game blows the first one out of the water in a way that makes me almost question the first one being so high on my list, because we have a card in the corner. I probably would have put that card up earlier in my discussion of this game, but it's just such a perfect video game. It's everything that a video game needs to be, and I don't know. I can't say much more about it. It's so fucking impeccable. I don't know.
You get very exasperated talking about it, which I think is a testament to how much you enjoy it.
Yes.
I really like listening to you talk about that game, even if it's not necessarily something I'm particularly engaged by. I think your connection to it is really cool. My third favorite game of all time is one that you're not crazy about, but now that you own the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, I'd like you to put some more time into.
Yeah.
That's Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is orchestral and sweeping. It's grand and engaging, and it takes Nintendo's mascot character. Look at that.
Dual wielding,
and puts him on a scope and scale that he's never seen before or since. This is Mario in lands that are foreign, not only to him, but to the player. And I think that's what's so engaging about it over a game like Odyssey that has wackier locations. Super Mario Galaxy is unfamiliar to the player because its ways that it plays with gravity and physics are completely unlike what you've seen before. But when you play with them, they're so intuitive. And they open up a level of design possibility that Nintendo capitalized on in galaxy after galaxy after galaxy. And it just feels so right. And you have that soundtrack behind you and those musical cues and this visual design and these mechanics and these ideas that coalesce in just such a moment, I think, in Nintendo's catalog. It's just a moment of brilliance. It's a
Yeah.
brilliant video game. It's an achievement. It's crowning. And I love it. And it has a lot of personal significance to me also when I played it. And playing it again on Switch a little bit, even though I've dedicated most of my time to Sunshine, because it's the one I'm least familiar with and I think deserves the most of a second shot for me, because it's a foregone conclusion that I fucking love Galaxy. But the first night I got 3D All-Stars, I hopped into Galaxy and I was like, yes, this is why I love this game and why
Yeah.
I will endure. So Super Mario Galaxy is my third.
We're entering an interesting moment that I think we've talked about this game so much that it's going to be interesting to talk about it again as we do in the next 10 minutes or whatever. Last of Us Part 2, the two of us here at Backlog Banter have simultaneously concluded is the pinnacle of the video games industry in nearly every aspect. I say Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the perfect video game experience, but this goes beyond that. This takes video games to a new fucking level that it will be seen, regardless of how controversial it was at launch, it will be seen as something that took video games in a direction that few video games have. Pong, Mario Brothers, Super Mario 64, Half-Life, whatever, those are important video games. This is the modern example of video games being taken to the next level. It does everything that you think of in a modern AAA game, everything that Naughty Dog is known for with their characters and their world design and detail and graphical fidelity and all that, and takes it to the nth degree in a way that I was not expecting. I love The Last of Us. It's my number 20 game. But this game makes, I've said this multiple times, but it makes the first game look like a fucking crayon drawing. And this is the goddamn Mona Lisa. I think this game is perfect in so many ways, in world design, in storytelling, in character interaction, and voice acting, and visual fidelity, and environment design, and gameplay, and physics, and almost everything. The soundtrack is great too. It is the pinnacle of the video game industry, and I'm not ashamed to say that, even though it is controversial. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game's okay.
Yeah.
My number 2 of all time is Card in the Corner, a game that I made a solo video about. I think my only solo video on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
That's Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
And I just bought it for you, so I'm super curious to hear your impressions when you finally play it. But I'm going to say really succinct because, like I said, I've got a fucking 10-minute solo diatribe about this game, so I don't want to be redundant. But I think that it's a recontextualization of the space opera with Nintendo's charm and their eye for incredibly tight game design. I love the way this game feels. I love the way the game sounds. I love the way the game looks. I think that it is just so fun. Its personality, its gameplay, its arcade trappings, everything about it is just so compelling to me. And I can just sit down and spend an afternoon with this game and be as happy and immersed in it as I was the first time I played it. I'll continue to play it over and over again, and the day that game comes to Switch is the day I stop playing fucking any other game on the console. And of course, that's hyperbole, but it's not hyperbole to the degree you would think, because it's endlessly replayable. It is so deeply engaging, mechanically, aesthetically. I simply love it. Please go watch my video where I talk about it in a little bit more depth. My second favorite game of all time, Star Fox 64.
Now, I'm going to do something a little special, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you go first on your number 1, because this will feed into our duality of man right here.
Yeah.
One-ality of man, because we're on the same side. There's no, I don't know what I'm saying.
My favorite game of all the time is Ape Escape on the Loose.
Oh my god, it's here. Holy shit.
No, but for real, I was fucking around a minute ago. My favorite game of all time is Last of Us Part 2. We have talked about this game fucking ad nauseum. There's literally like 2 hours of footage of us between our initial review and our top 10 games of quarantine where we talk about this game. And I've talked about every facet
and
of
in our
it.
Ori video.
It's fucking everywhere because we can't shut up about it. again, like Star Fox 64, I don't want to get too redundant, but I think that it does so much to change the player's relationship to narrative and to gameplay, and I think it's harrowing and it's bone crunching in a way that few games are. Um, and I think outside of Neil Druckmann himself and the cast, I don't know how many people are going to evangelize this game more than we do.
Yeah.
I think it's a game that time is going to be very nice to as we get away from the controversy and people can understand with a more clearer mind the way that the game changes narrative, the structure of narrative with the player's interaction with it. I think when you look at, its gameplay movement, I think when we are removed from the moment that it released in, people are going to come more on our side because this game is just so definitive. I think that's a great word for it. It's a statement piece. And I think that Naughty Dog has made a game that if they top, our heads are simply going to melt, and that will be the end of Backlog Banter.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will, and that's not to say that team can't do better. I'm sure they can, but I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
So, shout out to fucking everyone at Naughty Dog for that game that, in a time when I really needed an escape, it provided me with one that I would play for 4 or 5 hours at a time without checking my phone, without doing anything, which is uncharacteristic of me.
Yeah.
Down in front of the TV, headset on, completely immersed in that world. It's so special. And not only is it resonant on a personal level, an objective level, I think on a thematic level, it's really special. On a fundamental design level, it's special. And when we get to the point in this industry where we're unpacking games the way we unpack a film or a novel, I think there'll be a lot to say about this game that has only been begun to talk about on the fringes of conversation that we have tried to get in on. And I'm very excited to continue to talk about this game as the discourse around it evolves.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out and say it, and I've gone on this record quite a few times, but I do think that Minecraft is almost undoubtedly the single greatest video game ever made.
And your number one, just to clarify.
And my number one, Minecraft, is not only a game that's super special to me for many reasons, and special to you, but a game that changed how video games are looked at in more ways than you can count. It is, and ignoring its impact and the fact that there's an endless amount of Minecraft clones on the App Store, and so many games have taken the gameplay mechanics that it pioneered and put their own spins on it. But this game is basically a perfect video game experience in everything that it does. The visuals, they're not great. They're not fantastic. This is not Last of Us Part 2. This is not Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's not even Overwatch or Bioshock, which are all fantastic visual styles. But this game oozes style in a bloody, nasty way that I think that it changed the way that we look at video games. We think of games, modern games, as pushing graphical fidelity and trying to get, a gritty white man with a beard and a gun trying to look as good as possible. But Minecraft is a game that is as fresh now as it was then, but easily as timeless. And it could feel classic. It could feel new. It's a game that if you jump into it, you will have your own experience. It has infinite replayability in ways few games do. A lot of games are great to replay. You might love to replay Mario 64. You might find Street Fighter 2 to be a game that you can play for hours with your friends. But this game is randomly generated in the best way. I don't think almost any game has topped random generation like Minecraft has. It has easily the best post-launch content of any game ever. Every update has been free for the last 10 years, and it continues to evolve and expand. It has given me so much time in my life to understand who I am. It was the only game I played for probably 5 years of my life. I made almost all my friends through Minecraft. I started a YouTube channel with Minecraft. My first YouTube video is a Minecraft video. I've played it so much that it melts my brain. I've played it with so many people that I have so much connections to. I watched so many Minecraft YouTube videos. Minecraft is perfect in ways that few things are, and I will not back down on the fact that I do believe that It is the best video game ever made.
That's awesome. I liked listening to how passionate you are about that game, as I enjoyed listening to you talk about all of your top games of all time,
Yes.
because you speak very emphatically and your eyes get very wide and it makes me very excited. But those are our top 50 games of all time.
Yep.
Are there any games that you realized you forgot to put on your list as we were talking? Because I have two.
Well, no, I don't think so because I have my top 100, which
Yeah.
is low, which gives me an edge. But your two would be
Oh, Overwatch was fucking obvious. That
Yeah.
would have been in the top 25 easily. I don't know what exactly would have fallen. And then Hyrule Warriors should have been in there too, but I forgot about it.
Interesting.
It wouldn't have been super high, but it certainly would have been in the 40-ish range. I
Yeah.
put 75 hours in that game and fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And I realized we're not going to write out our top 50 games because we're not fucking stupid. We're just going to link our game GG'd, whatever the fuck dumb.
No, GG is the worst version.
Whatever ripoff of Letterboxd we're using right now, we're going to put links to that in the description so you can check that out.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for tuning in. I think that's quite a lovely video.
Really hope I hope this video has a tail to it. I hope that, once we've made more videos and we can go back and look at how passionate we were now in the future and think about, what games have we played since then that should have been on there. I think this is definitely a video that will be important to our history of our channel. That's why we decided to make it our 100 subscriber special. We've talked a lot about games that we really like, but this kind of is our culmination of why we love video games and the specific video games that we do love.
Yeah. And we'll update it for sure, not anytime soon, but we will come back to it.
Yeah.
Because I think, I've got a lot of fairly recent games on my list, and I foresee a lot of games being added, especially as I have more time to look backwards. And I'm telling you right now, when I fucking finish them, Super Mario Sunshine and Persona 5 The Royal will be on that list, but it's simply too soon to say right now.
That's true. That's reasonable. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for talking about this. A couple of these games have videos. Those cards are in the corners. I might even link them down in the description. Some of the games that we talked about will be getting videos soon, and if I'm smart enough, which who knows if that's true or not, I might go back and add cards to Katamari, to Star Fox 64, to these games that we will eventually be talking about.
Donkey Kong Country next week.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong Country. Forgot about that. Honestly forgot you mentioned that. But I'm very glad we did this video. Thanks for finally getting it done. It took us a while.
Yeah, but it was worth it. Well, everyone, thanks for fucking sticking around with Backlog Banter for as long as you have. We're only going to keep growing.
Yeah,
we're over 100 subs, and we're going to keep fucking climbing. You know what I'm saying? Not like my mic. We're not going to fall off. All right?
All right. See you guys later. Adios.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Interesting twist on that one. I'm locked in.
My blanket. I don't know anyone who owns as many pairs of red shorts as you do.
I have one.
I don't know anyone who has so few pairs of red shorts but wears them as often as you do.
I don't have that many pants. Okay. It's video game time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Am I proud of this list? I think I am. Oh, God. This is going to be tough for me. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Nothing about this seems tough.
You don't understand. You don't make lists like I do.
No, because it's largely an arbitrary. It's
half of my DNA. You say like what? You're a mix of your parents. That's fucking dumb. Half of me is my parents. Half of me is fucking lists. All right. If you look at my DNA, there's like letterboxed lists fueled into each of the RNA strands